Welcome to today's thought for the day, the 5 minute reflection, and I am deeply grateful to the Reverend Richard Coles for his contribution today because he's the one who's written it. Richard is an Anglican parish priest and he is also one of those clergy who managed to cross the boundaries between different worlds. He was ordained at the age of 43 after a very successful career as a pop musician and a radio presenter. So he writes, today the Church of England remembers John Donne, and it is indeed John Donne's commemoration today. He was born in 1572 into a recusant Catholic family and as a consequence left Oxford and Cambridge universities without a degree. He became a lawyer and something of a reprobate. He spent his fortune on wine, women and fighting, but he caught the eye of the Lord Keeper of the Great Seal and a promising diplomatic career offered, except he married the Lord Keeper's niece and more in secret. And so when it was all discovered, he was thrown into prison. John Donne wrote to his wife, John Donne, Anne Donne, on Donne. After his release, he earned a meagre living as a lawyer, and Anne bore 12 children. 3 died in childhood, and indeed Anne herself died in giving birth to the 12th. John wrote a defence of suicide. Of course, in those days, suicide was more than a crime, it was a moral horror. Donne's reputation as a poet grew, his verse brilliant and newly wrought, looking towards the European Baroque. His political career got started too. He became an MP long after having eschewed Roman Catholicism, until in 1615 James I decided that he should be ordained, and he ended up as Dean of St Paul's, where you may very well have seen the tomb of John Donne, and he had it done whilst he was still alive, obviously, and basically it's John Donne with a sort of light veil over his features. It's really rather fine. He wrote a series of meditations on sickness which seem apt for our time. After preaching a famous sermon, Death's Duel, to Charles I at Whitehall, he died. At Wren's replacement, you can find in the new St Paul's, you can see a pleasing sculpture of the Dean wearing his shroud in a representation of the imminence of the resurrection. Here is the 19th Holy Sonnet, which was written in a time of life-threatening disease, and it's why I think John Donne is worth, if you have him on your shelves, revisiting in this time of confinement. Oh, to vex me, contraries meet in one, inconstancy unnaturally hath begot a constant habit, that when I would not, I change in vows and in devotion, as humorous as is my contrition, as my profane love, and soon forgot, as riddlingly distempered, cold and hot, as praying, as mute, as infinite as none. I durst not view heaven yesterday, and today in prayers and flattering speeches I court God. Tomorrow I quake with true fear of his rod, so my devout fits come and go away, like a fantastic ague, save that here those are my best days, when I shake with fear. The prophet says it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living God, but we know that those hands are pierced with nails out of love for us, so that we need have only holy fear.